Reflection Comics. What's up?
What up? This is Rico from Reflection Comics. A good man, Lewis, on the far, far left. This is Between the Staples, and guess who this is? He's back at it again. Mike Sealie, owner of Continuum, writer and artist of the Continuum universe, and also the artist of what we can't wait to talk about: Eclipse 1, 2, and possibly a sneak peek at Eclipse 3. What's up, bro?
Going on, bro?
Good to have you back.
I'm glad to be back.
On a new panel?
Yeah, new panel. We had a good time last time too.
Yeah. So let's dive right in. And I know Lewis is interested in hearing a lot about you because he doesn't know as much as I do.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let him kind of take the reins on this.
Okay.
Yeah, Lewis, take control, man. What do you want to ask your good guy?
Right. So,
Lewis?
been reading your stuff. Great art, great writing. I'm more curious as to what inspired you to choose a Hawaiian hero of all the places.
So when you think about superheroes, first thing you think of what city that they're in. They're in these big giant cities. Whether it's Spider-Man, who's in New York City, whether he's in Queens or he's in Brooklyn or he's in Manhattan. And you think of even Batman, he's in Gotham, big city, Metropolis, Superman.
Yep.
I can name certain names, and you're like, okay, these are big cities.
Absolutely.
So I thought of Hawaii, and then me and my business partner, who's passed away, but we was discussing about how far away Hawaii is and what happens even if a superhero like Superman, it would still take a minute to get there.
Yeah.
For something, if something happened big over there. So I was like, there's no characters in Hawaii. In Hawaii, I feel like it's definitely not a lot of big characters represented there.
Definitely.
If it's not from their lore or something like that. So that's where it would led me to do Eclipse being from Hawaii.
Cool. Now, when you're creating your comics, is there anything that you would say you put in from your own like experiences, your own life, like any self inserts?
I think all of your stories definitely play into life, because the character that I created Eclipse when I was 14.
Okay.
That's a few years ago, just so you know.
A few.
So it's like so designing the character and the look of him. He looks very similar than he looked almost back in the 80s. He's looked almost the same. A few tweaks here and there, but for the most part, he looks very similar. But like life, I feel, gives actual life to the actual character.
Okay.
The experiences you've been through, experiences your friends have been through, those things play into the actual rounding out of who that character is.
That's dope. Now, during the creative process of creating Eclipse and just the Continuum universe in general, is there anything that you thought would stick that didn't make the cut?
I think Eclipse, just as thing, and I don't know if this is going to answer your question, but Eclipse was only supposed to be in my Continuum book as a 6-page just highlight.
Oh.
And I originally wanted my teen book, which I do highlight pieces of them in both issues, 1 and issue 2, where you get to know a little bit about the teams. And that was a big play. We had a lot, even pages written, and some of it got weaved into the original Eclipse story, because Eclipse was only supposed to be 6 to 8 pages as an intro to a anthology. And eventually we would get to them. But some things happened in real life that it felt like too close to comfort, because it's something that happens major with the Capitol building in my story.
Yes.
I literally have pages written before January 6th, when they stormed the Capitol building.
Yeah.
I literally wrote, it was written about it being blown up and everything like that before it happened.
So you basically did the Simpsons, basically.
I guess, yeah. It was like that. And so I talked to my business partner, Rob, and I was like, bruh, I know what we're going.
Yeah.
But, bro, I don't know if I want to do this. He was like, I was thinking the same thing, but I didn't want to step into your story. So I said, I think we got to fold into Eclipse, and we can imply some stuff, but not really come strong with the thing. Because that was part of the catalyst of why the president, who's in that sense, in my story, the president was a black president, and they attempted assassination a couple times, and there was some issues with the actual explosion that actually happened, that triggered him hiring my team, because they let go of all of the special forces that actually protect him.
Gotcha.
And so they brought in these hero characters to protect actually him, which became like their homeland security.
Okay, that's dope. Now, speaking of Eclipse, he's such a unique character. I can't think of off the top of my head anybody that like is pretty comparable to him. What inspirations did you have when creating the character?
I was creating characters at 14. And so anything was cool. And I always thought eclipses were cool with the moon phase and the sun phase. And like when you see it coming together. Because originally Eclipse, and it's like, I can't say it won't actually happen. Because his suit is kind of comes out of almost like Venom in a sense.
Yes.
It comes from him. So I won't say that it won't happen. But initially his body shifted.
Yeah.
The black and the yellow shifted. Whereas parts where, like a solar eclipse is more sun, his whole body would go all yellow.
Oh.
And in the other eclipse, it would go, this lunar eclipse, it would go all darker.
Right.
So that played into his earlier life, but it's less now. But I'm not saying that it can be some evolution that's happening, like when we do, like what's happening with Spider-Man. If you're watching New Spider-Man, Brand New Day, hasn't come out yet, it looks like some evolving happening with Spider-Man.
Right.
So there's a little footnote you put on there that says, okay, maybe Eclipse will have something that grows him. But right now we're doing world building and character base.
Okay. Now, one final question. Speaking of, like, on the topic of character creation, you're the writer. You create.
I'm the creator, and the writer that initially helped me was Rob Anderson, who passed away. Issue 3 is fully written by me. We had a baseline of what we were going to do. I had a lot of the ideas, and he would put the words and bring to life some of the characters that I designed. I did design all the characters in it, every single one of them, but he helped me with the story. So I don't want to take full credit for the writing, because he was a phenomenal writer.
Absolutely. Now, on the topic of creation, what aspect of it, whether it be the creating the characters, whether it be drawing, whether it be now that you're writing, what aspect of creating a comic would you say is your favorite?
The design
Designing
of the characters, and then trying to give them personality.
Okay.
Whether it's reflected in their what if they're comedic, if they're lighthearted, if everything is brooding and heavy. I want to kind of distinguish on who that character is. So all my characters, which you may never, some of the characters are side characters that don't have a full thing. I kind of still know their base ethics.
For sure.
Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I do want to do some touch on what you were talking about. You started Eclipse. You were 14.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to just let the fans know a little bit about Mike Sealie. Like, obviously, Mike, you're from Detroit.
Yes.
Right?
Just outside
Motor
Detroit,
City?
suburb.
Okay, the suburb.
Yeah.
Suburbs.
Suburbs.
The bird.
I don't have all the street cred, because he's like, yo, I'm from the east side of Detroit. And they be like, oh, okay. I'm from the suburbs. Oh my goodness.
I was at Detroit. I was in Detroit a couple years ago, like less than a handful, and they actually. I like the city. The city of Detroit is pretty awesome.
It's really.
I actually was eating. I went to their hot dog place.
Oh yes,
like
Coney Island.
Yeah,
Coney Islands, man.
And it's like one
best
building,
hot dogs, man.
Yeah. One side of the building rivals the other side of the building with the best hot dogs.
Yeah.
And it's like
there'd be multiple Coney Islands, and they'd be still hitting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I had to try them all.
Yeah.
But back to you, 14, when you created Eclipse, right?
Mm-hmm.
As from 14-year-old Mike, so today Mike, has Eclipse grew up? Did he mature? Did his style or his look change? Did his powers change?
He got a story. And like I said, I mentioned to you about the powers.
Yeah.
I had originally said that was the powers on it. And then when you get older, you kind of hash out and what, even though it's fantasy, how reality-based you can.
Yeah.
Because you do research on actual eclipse. How common, how often are solar eclipses? They're more rare.
Yeah.
So that's when he's like the most powered. He's like almost like Superman at a solar eclipse. As it gets closer to that solar eclipse, because we all know when a solar eclipse is coming. It's all over TV. They talk about it. That's when he started becoming the most strong.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is, when Mike was 14, did you know exactly what he was gonna be today?
No.
Did he evolve?
He had blonde hair.
Long hair.
Okay.
Long blonde
Yeah?
hair.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
and
so
he had
not
like
this
the.
guy.
It's like he had a full face mask. No, he always had the half mask.
Uh-huh.
But it's like he had like it almost looked like he had this ponytail like Gideon. I don't know if you remember X-Men, the mutant,
Yes.
the bad guy in Gideon, and he had the ponytail like a green ponytail.
Yeah.
He had a yellow ponytail that came off the top.
Wow.
Instead of the black hair that reflects to me
Yeah.
better Hawaii.
Yeah.
Because it's you're not gonna find a natural blonde that comes from Hawaii.
No.
They if anything, they got a dusty hair almost like yours or dark.
Hello, brother. How you doing, brother?
Talk
Brada.
about development.
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
what's up. So, like, outside of Eclipse, what other original characters have you came up with? And did they all start back when you were young, or are you still creating
Okay.
characters?
I do still create characters,
Yeah?
and actually, I just came up with a character when I was getting food today.
Like 15
And it was
minutes ago?
to be Hawaiian World. Yeah, no, while I'm
What?
sitting
Wow.
here,
What?
and I'll have to tell you all about that because it's still developing
Yeah.
in my head. But I've had dreams about characters. Two of the twins in the story in issue 1 and 2, Lucky and Charm, they came up to me like in a dream.
Wow.
And even how their power set was, and them being twins and kind of feeding off each other,
Yeah.
and even kind of the personalities. And I woke up and did rough sketches on them. Then, like a lot, when you get a story in issue 2, they have these other characters. They're called the Catalyst or the Core.
Okay.
They're catalysts where it's like instead of calling them mutants, there is something that triggered their powers.
Okay.
So there's a catalyst, something that triggered. I haven't revealed any of that yet, as far as what's the correlation between everybody that has powers in my universe. But it's a catalyst that triggered them to have it, and why more come from certain regions because of something. But I like I said, I'm not revealing that right now. So.
Could I say that you were you creating comic books in the 90s?
Yeah.
Like, well, that's
Early 90s.
early 90s.
Early 90s.
All right,
I think
well-
my first release I did was 92.
So what I'm trying to say is, the comic book industry from the 90s, I would say that was my era of. I now know what comic books are.
When Image came out.
Yeah, I'm just now getting introduced to what a real collector is. You know, so comic books from the 90s compared to today, or should I? I don't even know where to go with this. The average comic book reader today is not the same.
No.
The culture isn't the same. But how much? Because you were creating comics during that time.
Yeah.
So,
But I was green
Yeah?
and young.
yeah, but you lived it. Like you were in the you.
I remember when Image came out,
Exactly.
and it was motivation. I mimicked Rob Liefeld's art,
Yeah?
and got chewed up because it was his art.
Who chewed you out?
Editor. Yeah, I showed my art, and I thought I was a good artist, and
Yeah.
I was decent. Like I mean, obviously you see I got talent.
Yeah.
You know, not to brag on them, but I'm pretty solid.
Yeah.
But back then I was okay. I was nice. But he like your stuff looks like him. You haven't learned any of the basics, and he went hard on me, and it beat me up. But it wasn't something I was discouraged by.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I do need my own style.
Absolutely.
I do need my own flavor. I can take inspiration from these other creators.
Yeah.
And still, in time, I started melding in and figuring out what was Mike. But I did also get back to the basics of circles and shapes that people go, oh, well, I just like the freehand. But you still need that structure if you're trying to tell a story,
Yeah.
because you're going to be doing so many poses and angles.
Do you think it'd be easier to get in the comic book industry back then than it is today? Like
No. No.
Can someone that can draw very well
Bec-
become a comic book creator in today's world?
easier.
Easier now?
Easier now.
Outside of AI.
Outside of AI, if you're talented,
just
if you're a
pen
talented
and
artist
pencil.
and like learning to hone the skills,
Yeah.
first and foremost, it's far easier to create your own comics.
Yeah.
And that allows you to be in the market because they actually see that and other people are creating. And so I hate to say this, I've done a lot of studying and story stuff about when you say that question. And like I said, I don't like to make it about a racial thing.
Yeah.
But if you go and talk to some of the black artists that was during that time and before Milestone and stuff came out, Some artists are super talented and went to show their art, and they literally
Yeah.
says, "We already have one of you guys.
Wow. Okay.
We already have a black guy."
True.
So because you already got a black guy, it's like a cast on TV shows. You got a whole a white cast and one black guy, and it's we got our quota.
Yeah.
But these are talented artists, so it wasn't purely based on your art.
Yeah.
Now, this is when I'm telling you when this happened, and at that time, this was before the even Filipino rage rush. I call it Filipino rush because there's a lot of talented artists that came during that time, and in Japanese. This is all before all of that.
Yeah.
But it was kind of, and not that it was gatekept. It was just what it is. When you watch the TV, we didn't necessarily see that representation.
Yeah, for
sure.
You didn't see a Puerto Rican. You didn't see a black guy. You Mexican and black.
Yeah.
You didn't see those representations on TV.
Okay.
The same way you didn't see it behind the scenes.
Right. Well, if we can wrap this up, and if you could tell that 14-year-old boy that's looking at, or 14-year-old girl that's watching this show right now, scrabbling over their notebook, what can you tell them to prepare? How to mentally prepare for what's about to happen to them?
I would say that your Scrabble is art. If you enjoy doing it, take time to learn it. There's things that you're going to be afraid of, like drawing hands. You're going to be afraid of drawing feet. You're going to be afraid of certain things. You'll draw heads and face all the time, but take the time and don't be afraid of those things. But draw a whole page of hands. Draw a whole page of feet or whatever so you can feel more comfortable. Draw basic stuff.
Yeah.
Because you draw, in comic books, you draw more non-things like a coffee maker or a cup.
Yeah.
More often than you're going to draw somebody's body, but you do want to draw the body part. So just actually draw and take the time to actually learn it.
Absolutely.
Your style will come, but learn the fundamentals like they tell you in basketball, like they tell you in any sport. Get to the fundamentals and then look at your favorite artists and kind of pick off of them.
Right.
What you love about this. Oh, I love the way he makes people frown like, "Argh." Or I love the way the hair flows on the girls or something like that, or the way they think. Find something and hone that. But don't be afraid. Don't hide it, what you're not good at.
Yeah. Okay. And one last question from my side. What are you reading right now?
I'm reading Batman.
Batman.
I like Matt Fraction.
Matt Fraction,
I'm a Jorge
Batman.
Jimenez.
Yeah.
I'm reading Absolute.
Yeah.
I'm reading a lot of DC right now. I want something I want to really get into with Marvel. I do collect some Marvel, but nothing's going. I need to get the next issue for me.
August. That might
August
change.
is coming?
August, midnight.
Okay.
It's called Midnight, right? Yeah, Midnight's coming out in August. I know we pushed that in the last episode in the Doom Quest. Actually,
I got it, man. I picked up the first.
Yeah,
issue, and I haven't read it yet, but I will.
Doom Quest is
Okay.
good, and in August you got Midnight, and it's gonna be 3 different titles. We have X-Men, Spider-Man, and one other. I can't retain the information. One other title is gonna be under that series, but the Midnight series is supposed to rival Absolute Batman. So I'm eager to see how these comic books are going to. How are they going to respond
got the
to
vampire
DC?
twist to it. Or
Yeah.
like monster-ish.
Like Blood Hunt, like
Yeah,
last
a
year,
little
Blood
bit
Hunt.
of the same.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
not Blade?
I think it is Blade. Is it Blade? Maybe.
Storm's in
Don't
it.
hold me to that, but
I know Storm's in it.
But she's with the X-Men. She's gonna
But
be.
she's gonna be in the Midnight section.
Yeah.
And I read something recently that I feel like they playing on that with her story because they did some world twisting in their recent Storm series.
It
that's
was
going on right now.
the best, something like the most extreme mutant ever, or something like that.
Yeah, but they're doing some thing in different multiverse.
Yeah.
They opened up the Omniverse
Uh-huh.
where you can do that like almost absolute thing.
Yeah.
Their way of doing an absolute universe and where that is not the 616 or the other thing, but they're doing it's almost a parallel,
Right on.
and not a multiverse thing. They call it the Omni, almost like it's just another. I don't know. They explained it
Yeah.
different, but I like just comic book. I just say Marvel. I want them to give me some more grit.
For sure.
Yeah.
I feel like we do like the fantasy stuff, but I feel like because older people are reading it, I want some more grounded,
Yeah.
but still use your powers and
Yeah.
stuff. But like DC's, I feel like doing a great job at that.
Yeah. I believe
You know,
in that. Yeah.
When you do Green Lantern, it's still kind of got some little groundness to it.
Yeah.
But he's using powers where I think there's a little bit more fantasy in Marvel, and I know that's their formula, but I want a little bit more like that with
True.
that. And even Absolute is grounded
Yeah.
in it, but they're doing a weird twist with it and why they are doing their thing, and
Yeah.
it's like still ground where you're like, okay, I can see that happening
Yeah.
to Bane.
Very true.
I can see how Batman is like that, or
Yeah.
he gets injected with this, or it's like I want a little bit of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
Outside of that, are we good? We got everything. I think we got everything we wanted to
Where
say.
can we
right?
pick up your comics?
Where can
issue
we
three,
pick up your comic?
issue 3. I didn't mention that.
When can we pick up your comic?
You can pick up your comic at Reflection Comics. Issue 1 and issue 2 is here. Issue 3, all the pages are
That
completely drawn, inked, and I have 11 pages inked of the 27 pages. And when I do my Kickstarter, it will probably be some bonus pages added in of some side stories, because I always add like 3 or 4 page side story to kind of whet your appetite for new characters and new story.
All right. Well, I guess that concludes this episode
Yeah.
of Between the Staples, our segment called Indie Spotlight. I'm Rico.
I'm Lewis.
Mike Sealie. Peace.